What's up, people? This is Zoe still moving about. This is Zoe, episode 23 or 24 of NewsViews. It's been as usual, on a daily basis, it's been a crazy time, anyways. And we have a bunch of more news now. Let's go on to personal news first. The fact that I had promised myself updating. I promised myself. I promised you guys that I will be pushing the video about the Pakistani filmmakers. I've done that, and it just finally got acknowledged today by Facebook because things have been delayed and everything. And we basically are now up about 5,000. Let me confirm this. We have been bumped up to 5,000 views in like 3 hours. So I'm really happy to hear that, to see that we have a bunch of people listening in to the whole Pakistani filmmakers situation. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's see. So yeah, that's a 5,400 views now. And our first comment is basically by this guy named Shaukat Hayat, and he's basically saying that these people were educated enough. They should have returned to Pakistan before the situation got worse, but I don't know why they continued with their adventure. Now, Mr. Shaukat Hayat, I don't think they were thinking about it as adventure, but I do understand your point. They should have thought of leaving before hits the fan, but they did not. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But regardless, Mr. Hayat also says now Pac Nation wants team members to sacrifice for a few years. There are more desperate people out there in Pac who need attention and help. Enjoy in Thailand. Mr. Hayat, they are stuck in Thailand. They're not in. I really hope not that they're enjoying in Thailand, because I just freaking spend 1,000 baht on them. For one, I hope that they're not, enjoying themselves and just waiting for stuff to happen for them while they sit in their freaking pools and hotel rooms or whatever. He also says, by the way, instead of ruining country's wealth in Thailand, you could have gone to GB for shooting, which is the UK, which is far more beautiful. Now I know how a bunch of stupid people ruin our foreign reserves. And please stop blackmailing Imran Khan emotionally. He is not raindrops to sprinkle on every dry thing. Jesus Christ, this is freaking brutal, dude. But I'll say it though. I'll reiterate some of his points. He is right. There, people should not blame Imran Khan for every single thing. Every single time I see something or the other not going wrong, they go like, "Oh, at the rate Imran Khan PTI, you messed up." You need to understand that Imran Khan is trying to do a good thing for the country generally, and it's not okay to just freaking blame him for the 20-30 years of BSs that Nawaz Sharif and Shehbaz Sharif and Pervez Musharraf and all these idiots have done to the country. So at the end of the day, I do agree, Mr. Hayat, with you if you say that let's not ruin the country's wealth. People who are stuck in Thailand right now, Mohib, Sarah Lauren, and all these people, you should have known better. But I do also, I'm not an a-hole, I do understand entirely that you did not see it coming. I personally have been living in Thailand for a while, and I did not see it coming either. We need to understand that nobody, absolutely nobody, Mr. Hayat, saw this all coming. Nobody knew that there would be a massive pandemic uh, um, uh, ruining the entire world. You should not assume that these guys somehow knew better than everybody else. That that they would have just known. They wouldn't have known. These people wouldn't have known. So regardless, I still hope you guys get to Pakistan safely, instead of just. I mean, there's so many stupid comments out there. Mr. Hayat has a point to make. I understand that, and Mr. Hayat, I appreciate you posting your response to my video. But that's just how it is. Now, I did promise that I'm going to boost this, and since Facebook and every other company in the world is basically saying that things are going to be delayed, even in my country, my company, things are being delayed, like payments have been stopped. Um, Facebook has been waiting, taking its own freaking sweet time to actually make sure that they approve ads as well, and they approved my ad about 15-16 hours after I had actually put it out there, and the ad was basically to spend 1,000 baht to put my video into Karachi, Pakistan, as much as possible, at the ages of what, 25 to 50. So that was my thing. But I'm really happy to help in any way possible. That's just how it is. Let's go towards other stuff. We also know now that all hotels have been closed. Hotels cannot take new they cannot take new they cannot take new customers. They have customers right now, and basically they will be they have to take care of those guys as long as possible. And due to that, there are a bunch of people who still want to get rooms. You can't basically get rooms anymore in hotel rooms unless you were already supposed to be there. So there's that. Just make sure that if you are in if you are in Thailand, if you are in Phuket and different places, this would, oh shiz. Oh my god. So I have, okay. So what happened is my battery ran out on the camera, and I just lost the couple of 2-3 people who were actually watching. But regardless, I am back now. The camera has 100% freaking percent battery. So there's that now, man. Let's go to actual news from the rest of the world. Like I said, hotels are going to be closing down. You need to either check into them as fast as possible, or you just make sure that that if you are checked into a hotel, do not check out. Just make sure that just ask for discounts. If you ask long enough, it would probably be better for you. And just make sure that the hotels are taking care of you. If not, you have the right to obviously go on Facebook, go on different social medias and talk about this. Now, we have 102 new confirmed cases, people. Oh my God. We have a total, we have surpassed 1,000 people who have been affected by the coronavirus in Thailand, which is absolutely ridiculous. You need to understand that if you don't have symptoms and you're admitted to hospitals, you are going to be closely monitored. If you have mild symptoms with risk factors like obesity, diabetes, and stuff like that, you will be admitted to the hospital. If you have pneumonia and not critical, or pneumonia and critical, you will be admitted to the hospital. So, between you and me, just understand that there are people, if they are affected, do not go to the hospital if there's literally nothing else, something tiny a bit wrong with you. I think that is absolutely messed up. The EXAT, the Expressway Authority of Thailand, is limiting the expressway service at all expressway toll gates from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Now, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. is basically the curfew of the entire Thailand. But however, 8 to 4 p.m. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is what Phuket is going through, and that's going to stick. They're just making sure that everything basically works out. Banks will resume services on April 7th. Again, fingers crossed. If that might happen, that's really good. The CAT, the Civil Aviation Authority of Thailand, has prohibited all aircrafts from entering Thailand for 3 days. After, this is interesting, after about 100 Thai people landed at Suvarnabhumi Airport on Friday, and they refused to go toward the quarantine facilities. This is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you need to understand that there are things that people are trying to do, that the government is trying to do, but the people are not listening. It's really important that the people listen. It's really important that people look at the bigger picture and not just save themselves from quarantines or something or the other. They just need to realize that that at the end of the day, they need to make sure that they protect themselves, for one, and secondly, they protect everybody else on the in the country, basically. So if you're just running away, that's not okay. That's really, 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 really not okay. That you're just running away from these situations. It's like, I don't understand why you would do that. Regardless, we know for a fact that nationwide nightly curfew, it has gone into effect. We know that in Phuket it's supposed to be 8 p.m. So do that. Phuket hotels are supposed to close, like I said. Airport closure approaching, so they are about to shut off airports entirely. So do your traveling as much as you can, as fast as you can, before April 9th or 10th, because that's when everything's going to shut down, and then you're basically screwed, and then you can't complain basically that somebody or the other didn't take care of you. Because I do see people on Facebook expat groups who just keep on complaining. Stop freaking complaining if you mess up, basically. The Thailand cases, they have risen, like I said, to over 2,000 now, which is pretty crazy. So we have one interesting piece of news that Thai sex workers are forced to the street. Basically, that they are out of bars and they don't know what to do. certain sex workers, they are afraid of what's happening, but they're desperate to have customers to pay their rent. This is just one of hundreds of people who are suffering right now during the situation. But at the end of the day, can you imagine that there's a worldwide epidemic going on, and all you care about is if you can pay rent or not? And at the end of the day, I do feel for these people. I do feel for these sex workers because they are not, they're not doing this for fun. They're literally freaking doing this to pay rent. So can you imagine that you can't afford rent, and instead of being kicked out of your apartment or your house or whatever, you want to go ahead and do sex work for this to take care of yourself? That's just ridiculous. Bangkok and Pattaya have gone entirely quiet in terms of nightclubs and massage parlors because of that, and this is due to the fact that tourists have been blocked from entering the country, which is totally fine. The latter is completely totally fine, but I would wish that these people have something going on the side. Now, what they have going on the side, I'm not sure, but here's a quote. I'm reading from the Phuket News, which is the only English and Thai speaking newspaper on the island. They're basically saying, "I'm afraid of the virus, but I need to find customers so I can pay for my room and food," says Pim, a 30-year-old transgender sex worker. He or she told AFP in an area of Bangkok where previously Bondi neon-lit bars and brothels have gone dark. So this is the situation we are facing with. It's safety and security, and it's about paying your freaking rent. So this is really harrowing, to be honest, because nobody saw this coming. Yeah, nobody saw this coming, and now that it has come, it is just pretty ridiculous what is happening right now. Now, if we let me share the screen here. Let me share the screen a bit. Yeah. Let me share the screen so it can make you guys a little bit happy. Yeah. We have had a total of 65,652 deaths in all of the world right now because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19 situation. We have a total of 252,391 people who have recovered. Deaths in Italy have basically gone all the way up to 15,362 deaths. In Spain, we have 12,418 deaths. In France, we have 7,560 deaths. In the UK, we have about half of that. We have 4,313 deaths. In Iran, it's 3,603 deaths. In Hubei, China, there's 3,210 deaths. In New York, in the US, there's 2,624 deaths. My God. So we need to realize that this thing is still happening, right? It is pretty freaking big, and we can't just ignore it. However, obviously, the US of A president has decided that he can't ignore all this stuff. He has basically become a full-time freaking pirate. There was shipment of masks and other things that were supposed to go to France, and he sent one of his stooges, and he basically got a bunch of he paid extra. He paid, according to those sources, he paid about 4 to 5 times extra, and they got the masks instead of going to France. They ended up going to the US because of him wanting to because these guys basically from the US of A wanted to spend more wanting to spend extra money to actually pay. He has done this a bunch of times now. and it is continuing to go on. And it seems like it seems like the US of A has become a pirate, and the US of A keeps on doing this stuff, kind of making sure that we get like the US of A gets enough aid and gets enough supplies, and the president does not care about anything else that's happening. With the world, he doesn't care if he steals masks and resources from other countries. It really seems to me that he really doesn't care. It's astounding to me, but apparently this is exactly what is happening at the moment, which is disturbing, but it is the actual case here. Yeah, so at the end of the day, there are some people who are obviously helping. So this is not about gloom and doom all of a sudden, like this podcast, the video podcast. There are a bunch of people in front of Soy San Sabai, in front of Madras Cafe, and they're basically still feeding people who need food, who need something or the other, and they're doing this from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. I was invited to go there, but what happened is, through the course of this morning, I realized that Patong now, by the way, is completely closed to the public. Completely closed to the public outside of Patong. So if you reside in Patong, you're fine. If you reside in different places, you just can't go to Patong anymore. And that's the reason I didn't go. I was supposed to do a Facebook Live from there, interview some of the people there, but it's just not happening. So people of Patong, I would like to say, stay strong, people. Stay strong, stay good, stay healthy, stay in, because the authorities are checking up on you guys. And I really, really hope there is something that I could absolutely do for these guys. I'm just not sure what I could do, to be honest. Additionally, that's about it. I do suggest that people start making sure that they are more responsible. There are about 100 Thai people who fled quarantine after returning on a flight to Thailand on Friday night, and they failed to report themselves by deadline April 4th. So the authorities are basically, they have promised they're going to take legal actions against these muffers. And you know what, authorities, I fully support you on this. Nail these idiots to the freaking wall if it takes that much, because at the end of the day, these are 158 people. So it's not a tiny amount, man. It's 158 people, and if they do not social distance, if they do not make sure that they stay away from other people, at the end of the day, they are going to infect a lot of other people, and then you basically see Thailand going down the drain. And I really am in support of the government fighting to get these guys, in the paperwork, basically. So there's that. So yeah, that's about it. Other than that, I've gotten a lot of support. I really, really appreciate that. I've gotten a lot of support on these NewsViews. This is episode 23 or 24. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, that's what's happening. Now we have this amazing freaking person named Shehryar Jaffrey, and he said, "I am a big fan of yours." Shehryar Jaffrey, Sherry, he's basically lying. He's a really close friend of mine, and he basically said, "Can you say my name?" Shehryar Jaffrey, thank you for watching this NewsViews episode 13, 14, 23, 24, whatever. But thank you for being a part of this podcast, man. I really hope you share this this podcast, this video podcast. I hope you comment on it even more than the 3 messages you sent down. And please, 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 please share this video podcast, because the views and comments and the shares are what are keeping this podcast alive. Pearl, she says, thank you for sharing, bro. You are welcome, sister. Don't. So Pearl's a huge, a great friend of mine as well. So Sherry and Pearl, thank you so much for being part of this video podcast. And I really, really hope that I see you guys soon. It's been a while, and Hamza and Francois and a bunch of other people who have been, liking and appreciating different photos that I've been posting on my personal Facebook and on the Zoom Moving About Facebook. Thank you so much for just, honest to God, just being there. Now all I need you guys to do is just continue supporting me. So so I basically end up continuing this. It's been a good fucking time. Oh, I shouldn't say the bad words, man. It's been a good freaking time. It's been let's see. This is episode 24. People, we're almost about to hit a freaking month, an entire freaking month of these video podcasts. So stay healthy, stay good, stay happy, and I hope to God that I see you guys again. I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned, and I'll make sure, I promise, that I will make sure that there is a very specific time that I come online on, because right now it's 6 a.m., it's 10 a.m., it's 2 p.m., it's 6 p.m., it's 8 p.m., it's 10 p.m., it's all over the freaking place. So I really hope that I will, I really do plan to actually start doing these video podcasts at a time when everybody is alive, when everybody is happy, when everybody is active. And see you soon, baby. And that's about it.